1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'll be using the dark blue as my base string. I'm going to cut 9 base strings and then I'll come back. This pattern is a shape pattern, so we're only going to knot on the red or orange parts of the pattern. So you notice that it has whites on left and right. We're not going to knot that part. We divided our strings into groups of 3. Now we'll take one extra string and add it from the middle and add it to the one on the left and add one to the one on the right. So we now have 4, then 1 in the middle and 4 on the other side, and we're going to knot on it like this. So since we're only going to be knotting the parts that, well, the parts in the middle, which are just 3, the ones that have the colors, we are not going to knot anything white at all. So I'm going to start with the straight edge technique, which will be a backward forward knot. Now according to the pattern, I need to make 2 rows of red, and since in that case mine is pink, I'm going to make 2 rows of pink instead. On the edge here, I'm going to make a forward backward knot because I am using straight edge technique. If you are not, you can just make your forward knot. And I'll do it again, another forward backward knot, then I'll make a backward knot. Note from future me, if you do not want to change colors, you can use a multicolored string. That would be much better, so you don't have to change colors as much. On the edge here, I'm just going to make a backward forward knot, and then I'm going to put my string under the others, and well, I'm going to change color. Now carrying my next string, which in my case is blue, I'm just going to attach my string by making a backward forward knot over the 4 strings I have on the left. You can tape this down, I prefer to hold mine. Now we're going to make 2 rows of this. According to the pattern, we're going to make 2 rows. Sorry, I changed camera angle. Swap thread again, and I'm going to bring in my new color, which is white. I'm going to start attach my string by making a backward forward knot, then I'll proceed to make 2 rows, and after that I'll switch again according to the pattern. So according to our pattern, we have 6 different color switches that go on within the before we get to the heart. So we have it from here when it reaches dark blue and all the way back to red, and then finally back to dark blue. So I'm going to just show you maybe like a few more rows and then I will stop. according to a pattern, we are only making 2 rows each, and each row has 3 knots, and well, we have 4 strings on the left, 1 string in the middle, and 4 strings on the right, which make up our 9 bass strings. So now that I've gotten to dark blue, I am going to be repeating the colors. So I'm going to take pink, then I'm going to take purple, then I'm going to take white, like the pattern says. I'm just going to keep repeating this. Okay, so going in reverse direction. So we are almost at where we started, which will be, for our pattern, it's going to be red, but for me it's going to be peach. When I get to peach, then I'm going to come down right back to blue, and we'll continue doing the same thing. It to be just like when we started. So here we are, and I'm going to start repeating. I'm not going to show this part, so just repeat until when you reach the first row of blue. Pause, because I have already gotten here. Now that we've reached the first row of blue, we are going to make 1 knot, but we're going to introduce our red string first. Now, for our red string, take out 1 string from the bunch of 4 on right. Take out 1 string, then introduce your red string on the bunch on the left, which only has 3 strings now, no longer 4. So I'm starting with a forward backward knot. My tip keeps coming off. Starting with a forward backward knot here. Yes, now after that, onto the next string, which is the one we just removed from the bunch. I'm going to make 1 backward knot and 2 more back. I just have 1 more to do. There. So now I'm going to put my red string behind and make 1 knot, just 1 knot, over the bunch of the left with our dark blue string. So we're going to make a backward forward knot, and then we'll pass a string under and bring our red string back. For this next row, we're going to remove our blue string, and we're only going to use red, and we're going to make 5 knots with red, starting with a backward forward knot because I'm using the straight edge technique. Now we're going to make 3 forward knots. Now we're going to make 2 forward knots on the strings we already single strings we already have out, and when we are done with our second forward knot, we're going to take 1 string from the bunch of 3 on the on the right, remove 1, yes, and make a forward knot over that one. Now we only have 2 strings left in that bunch, make a forward backward knot over that. Now make another forward backward knot over it to begin our next row. Now we are going to proceed to make 4 backward knots with the red string, and when after our 4th backward knot, we're going to remove 1 bunch of string from the ones on the left this time. 1 string from the ones on the left, leaving 3 more strings there, and make 1 extra knot, yes, there. Now make our 4 backward forward knots. Now remove another string from that bunch on the left, yes, leaving 2, and make a backward forward knot. So this beginning this row, we have our forward backward knots. Now we are going to have 4 forward knots, and after our 4th forward knot, we're going to bunch string together again. So after our 4th forward knot, we are going to take the last string, because you notice that we still have 1 more string sticking out, and we're going to add it to the bunch, making that bunch, instead of being 2, it's going to be 3 instead. There. So now we're going to make a forward backward knot over that one too. So we made a total of 6. Now we're going to repeat the previous row, which means we're going to make 1 backward forward knot over the bunch of 3 strings on the right. Then we're going to make 4 forward knots. After making 4 forward knots on the bunch of 2 strings on the left, we are going to make a backward forward knot. Sorry, we're making 4 backward knots, my mistake. How do I keep mixing them up in my speech? Done with that row, we're going to add 1 string to the one on the left, making it a bunch of 3 now, and we're going to proceed to make our backward forward knot. Now we're going to make 4 forward knots. After making 4 forward knots, we are going to take 1 string from the bunch to complete our 4th forward knot. So we're going to have to take 1 string from the bunch of strings on the right, and then after that you make your forward backward knot. So I'm going to change my string soon because you can see it's very short. Now we're going to continue. We'll make another forward backward knot. Now proceed to make 3 backward knots. 3 backward knots, and then swapping my string now after my second backward knot You don't have to do this if your string isn't short, but mine is extremely short. Surprised it came this far though. Now we're going to bunch the last string that we're not going to knot onto to the bunch on the right. So on our left now, we should have 4 strings on our bunch. While we're making our backward forward knot, we should have 4 strings there already. Now to begin our next row, we're going to bring back our dark blue string and we're going to make 1 knot over the left edge with it. So take the red string back and introduce our blue string. Yep, it's coming back. Now make a backward forward knot with it. Now leave it there and bring our red string back. Now we're going to make 3 forward knots with our red string. So we're changing strings, sorry, we're swapping out strings. And we're going to make 3. That's 1. So we're going to make 2 forward knots and then the last one will be a forward backward knot. And this is our second one. Now we're going to bunch up this last string that is there, making our bunch on the right with have 3 strings. Now pass our red string under because we are introducing our blue string now. And now with the blue, we're going to make, sorry, my mistake, we're going to bunch up the last the last string, leaving our bunch to finally be 4, just like when we were knotting the part before the heart. So we're going to have 4 strings in a bunch on the left, 4 strings in a bunch on the right, and 1 solo string in the middle. And we're going to continue to make 2 rows each. So we just finished making our second row with our blue string and we're going to swap it out for the next color, which is baby pink. So we're going to grab the baby pink from here, or you could cut new string. We could just cut it from there and use it. It's totally your choice. Bringing it back here, we're going to make 3 knots with it. I'm Wando from Sam Desire. I teach I make tutorials on how to make friendship bracelets and generally craft. If you're interested in that, please subscribe, or you could check out my playlist. And there's another alpha tutorial I have on how to make hearts and another one on how to make a friendship bracelet. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. I am on Instagram in case you want to drop any pattern. And this pattern was actually dropped by Nori Not on her Instagram story. She asked who knew how to make it, and I was like, oh, this is a perfect tutorial for it. So if you have anyone you would like me to do, please send me a message on IG. So thank you, and well, bye.